Good evening, my fellow creeps. It's me, Eric, the sick, psychotic horror movie douchebag, and I'm here to tell you about another sordid terror flick. I rescued a fresh loaf of shit straight out of my corroded septic tank, and I'm ready to carve you some slices. Have you ever heard the song Rock Hard? Well, that's what I am, baby. Rock fucking hard. And after a romp in the hay, maybe we'll order some fettuccine and breadsticks. I think I'm in the mood for Italian. But no more beating around the bush. If you are ready to hear about tonight's gory gallery of mayhem, then please bend over and prepare to take it all in. I'm a big fan of Joe D'Amato. The Italian cinematographer and director has hundreds of credits to his name. Yeah, indeed, our friend Joe was a real workaholic. He directed a shit ton of porn flicks. Does the movie 120 Days of Anal ring any bells? Now that's a great goddamn title, porn or not. Or how about Anal Paprika? Now I've never seen Anal Paprika, but that title has always intrigued me. You see, paprika is a red spice. It's a good seasoning on certain things. I'll admit that much. But I wouldn't want to lick it off of an asshole. Now, why the fuck would you put paprika on a dirty shithole? Is the plot about a guy who dashes paprika on ass cheeks of hookers and then licks it off? I don't know. I'm really confused, and I can't help but wonder because a title like that sure gets my imagination running. Exploitation fans are most familiar with Joe D'Amato because of films like Emmanuel in America, Trap Them and Kill Them, Anthropophagus, aka The Grim Reaper for you Monterey Big Box fans, Erotic Nights of the Living Dead, Porno Holocaust, and Absurd to name just a few. Emmanuel in America has some taboo-smashing sex and snuff material, and Absurd is one of the coolest goddamn slasher flicks you'll ever see. But on this cold, lonely night, I want you to pull your moist panties up tight, because we are going to talk about his horrific ode to acid baths and necrophilia. I speak of Beyond the Fucking Darkness. Beyond the Darkness was made in 1979, but not released in North America until 1986. The great thriller video, responsible for many amazing big boxes of the VHS days, gave us the film retitled as Buried Alive in one of the most gorgeous big boxes ever released. That cover is a true work of art. A good-shaped big box of Buried Alive goes anywhere from $50 to $100 or even more on eBay these days. The slipcase release from IVE is even more rare. But no matter what title you want to call the fucking movie, one thing is for sure. It's a standout moment in horror, and probably the kind of movie that is best watched when you are a newbie to horror, and therefore more impressionable. Today's 20-somethings would never know this, but when I was a kid, even fucking Blockbuster Video had the big box Buried Alive on the shelf. The warning on the back of the box freaked me out when I was a youngin'. The yellow box with huge red-colored warning label says, and I quote, "This motion picture is one of the most violent films ever made. There are scenes of sadistic cruelty graphically shown." When I was growing up, I took warnings like that seriously. Reading something like that at the video store back then gave you a dirty, sick feeling. Like it was something that you should not even be picking up or looking at. Movies like this and Make Them Die Slowly and the Faces of Death series had the forbidden allure that made everything all the more enticing. is about a young man named Frank, played by an actor named Kieran Cantor. Our hero, Frank, has the kind of charm that makes the ladies hike up their skirts and the debonair good looks that make all of the men prepare the asshole. Frank is a rich twit, lives in a fancy-ass mansion in the beautiful mountain countryside. I'd love to be rich like this fucking guy. It must be a nice life. Anyway, he has a pretty fiancée and everything is perfect, I guess. But not so fast. His bitch housemaid Iris is a total nutcase, and she wants young Frank all to herself, just wants his dick. And with the help of a gypsy witch and a voodoo doll, she puts a curse on Frank's lovely fiancée. The poor girl dies, leaving Frank heartbroken. But he doesn't mope in his own piss for long. Since he's a taxidermist in his spare time, he has the perfect idea. Why not just dig her up and bring her home to stuff? So he strips her down, embalms her, and takes out all of her organs, and basically turns her into the perfect little doll to keep around forever. This scene is a rancid display of gore, and still has the power to sicken those of weak constitution. There were rumors for years that a real dead body was used. That's how convincing the makeup effects are. I believe that the zoomed-in shots of internal organs could be stock surgery footage, but the rest is all just great effects. When Frank takes out her heart, he can't help himself. The crazy bozo bites into it like a starving man eating a fresh quarter-pounder with cheese. So now Frank has his fiancée stuffed and he can have intercourse with her dead body anytime he wants. She'll never rot away. But that isn't good enough for him. The whole ordeal apparently flipped a crazy switch in his brain because he just goes full tilt serial killer. He brings girls back to his lavish estate and torturously kills them in different ways. Fingernails are torn out with pliers and throats are ripped with his teeth. Yes, my friends, the blood flows freely. Even better than the murder scenes themselves are the aftermath scenes where Frank and Iris dispose of the bodies. In one scene, Iris chops up a voluptuous naked body with a meat cleaver as Frank fills a bathtub with acid to reduce the corpse to sludge and bits of bone. In another disposal scene, they put a dead girl in a big furnace and watch as her corpse is reduced to ashes. This stuff will make your balls ache and your sphincter pucker. But, even with all of the depraved shenanigans at hand, nothing else compares to when that crazy slut Iris sits down to eat a bowl of stew after chopping up a corpse. She doesn't even wash her goddamn hands and she chews with her yap wide open as gross food runs down her fucking chin. It's so nasty that even Frank blows chunks. And this is a guy that spends his free time playing slip and slide with dead vagina, lest we forget. It must be said, overall, Beyond the Darkness stands the test of time and more than lives up to its reputation. Joe D'Amato doesn't get enough credit for his talent as not only a director, but cameraman as well. He turns in a highly memorable and well-shot film here. It's sleazy and debased as all fuck, but it has that X factor that elevates it onto a higher plane. Having Goblin do the music certainly helps. The horror heavyweights turn in a beautiful score that creates a stately symbiosis with the characters and setting. The makeup work looks professional yet crude at the same time, which is perfect for such a morbid and sick piece like Beyond the Darkness. The girl that plays Anna, the stuffed fiancée, does a fantastic job looking dead. So, if you somehow skipped out on seeing this film, you son of a bitch, you may want to remedy that shit fast. Media Blasters released it on the DVD back in 2002 and on the Blu-ray in 2012. So it's out there, still waiting to be gripped, like a lubed up pecker, streaked with some shit.
No!